on!
Anyways.
All right, Dan Torres!
Alright, my name is Dan Torres. I'm a volunteer for Hudson Valley for Obama, and I just want to open with a few words.
Yell it out, Dan.
2 weeks ago, my AP language teacher, Miss St. John, gave my class one of the most open-ended essays we have ever been asked to write. What is wisdom, and what does it mean to my generation? At first, I had a hard time getting started. I knew I could write about so many things. After a lot of thought and reflection, I wrote, "It is a misconception that wisdom comes from age and experience. To me, wisdom is not about how many experiences you have, but really just how you interpret the ones you have." The essay made me think about my generation. I was an elementary school student when September 11th happened. I was a middle school student when the Afghanistan and Iraq war started. In my time from elementary school to now, my vocabulary has greatly expanded. I have learned new phrases like dimple Chad, Taliban, greenhouse gases, waterboarding, and yes, even wardrobe malfunction. My generation isn't protesting like they did in the 1960s, and yet when you think about it, we share a lot of things in common. We didn't storm the Democratic National Convention or riot on the campus of Columbia University, but this certainly doesn't mean that my iPod-loving, internet-surfing generation is lazy. You see, we have interpreted our world events that have shaped our youth very differently than any generation before us. We see what's wrong in the world, and like so many generations before, we don't like it. The difference is, we know we can fit more people on a Facebook group against the war than we could ever fit on the campus of Columbia University. We more than ever understand the importance of an individual. We know we can change the world by taking advantage of the equipment given to us. We see the need to help our fellow men in the United States and abroad. We know we are not perfect, and we don't try to be, but in my opinion, we are one of the most tolerant generations our country has ever seen. We may have never been forced to fight in a war, but we understand what it means to be an American. We live in a country that gives us life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is quite an amazing thing to live in a country where you can speak your mind without fear of persecution, where you can vote and know your vote will always be counted. Well, most of the time. I now know that I'm at the crossroads of my generation. The world at this very moment has put us under a magnifying glass. They are waiting to see the decisions we will make come Tuesday. We have a chance to put the people we believe in into office. People like Congressman Hinchey, Hein, Kevin Cahill, and Elliot Auerbach. And I can't see anyone better than the people here today. These men can and have helped this county tremendously. I have complete faith in all of them, and when I pull down the lever for the first time this November 4th, I will make sure not to just vote for Senator Obama. You see, we need all of them to truly realize the ideas that Obama has preached so eloquently. Ideas of change, hope, and prosperity. But simply voting in the presidential race won't help the ideas become a full reality. Obama needs a staff of people to act upon his message. I may be barely old enough to vote, but I am certainly wise enough to see what is happening in our country. These last few months have given me the opportunity to see our country in a whole new light. Through my time campaigning for Senator Obama and the rest of the candidates here today, I can truthfully say I have heard the cry for change for thousands of Americans. I have spoken to and interacted with so many people, and yet, through this I have come to realize how similar we all really are. I know I have done my part for this election. Now I ask you to do the same. I don't need to speak too much about President Bush, John McCain, or any other local Republican today, but as I have asked so many undecided voters in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, are you better off economically now than you were 8 years ago? Do you feel safer now than you did 8 years ago? Do you think America is seen in a better light now than it was 8 years ago? If you answered no to any of the following questions, or if you even had to think about what your answer was for just a second, then I think we all know who we need to vote for come Tuesday. I am only 18 years old, but I too have witnessed the last 8 years, and if I didn't feel we truly and desperately needed change, well, then I wouldn't be speaking to you all today. I have lived and interpreted the events that make up my generation, maybe a little differently than you have, but I know we both have the same ideals. As I leave you, for the professionals to speak, I want you to remember one thing. As Bob Dylan once said, "You're not busy being born, it's busy dying." Please, never forget, time doesn't change anything, but you can. Thank you.
So I look in your direction.